Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Monday Morning Minutes. I am Igbosa Osazua Aswem, and today we're going to be doing something slightly different, titled The Rock Bottom Hero, which is a fusion of my rock bottom story, a time when I was at my lowest, and the hero story, a time when I was able to help others. Now, before we get into the stories, I just want to state that there's a huge gap between these two stories. And I was only able to bridge the gap by allowing myself get vulnerable. I had to live and speak my truth, face and embrace my fears, and be resilient in doing so. So, without further ado, let's get into the stories. I grew up in a polygamous home. At the age of 4, my father came to steal me from my mother. I grew up with my father and my stepmother, and I was basically treated like trash. All of this experience made me hate polygamy so bad that even as a child, I promised myself that in no circumstance would I ever allow my children experience the same thing that I experience, or ever even know what the definition of polygamy is. So, when I had my own family and started having issues with the mother of my children, I tried so much. I endured to make sure there was no separation, because I feared it so much. I was so scared of being separated and having my children face the same thing that I faced when I was young. It scared me like mad. Now, relationship is a two-way street. No one is perfect. I had my own issues that I needed to fix, that I had things that I could have done better. Then when I physically separated, when I came to Canada, the relationship became more strained because of distance. And it finally happened. We separated. When I was deprived of any form of contact with my kids for over 3 months, I hit rock bottom. That I questioned the essence of life. Because all I'd ever done was trying my best, just because of my own childhood, trying my best to give my kids the very best. So when I was working, I was just working hard to make sure my kids have a good life. My kids and my family have a good life. So I hit rock bottom and questioned the essence of life. I cried. I've seen lots of videos of people who committed suicide. That was how it looked like. It's not that I felt like I was going to commit suicide, but that's the point where people get to. I had sleepless nights. I'd cry, sleepless night, think of my children, cry, because I've never been separated from my children. My children were away, my everything. I guess that's why they used it against me and decided to keep the kids away from me. So at that point, the only way was to go up and find a way to work on myself. Because as humans, we're not perfect. There's something we can always improve on. There's something we can do better. So I had to, take my mind off my kids and start working on myself. So I reached out, I sought out help from a counselor and started talking about my past and everything, the things I have not addressed before. Because after I experienced my childhood trauma, I swept it under the rug, which was not very good. So I had to go address all that, talk about it. And I slowly started facing my fears, one of which was public speaking. So I joined the Toastmasters Club. I started getting the courage, the confidence, because I lacked self-esteem. I had no confidence. People don't see it. Like so many people walk with lack of confidence, and you see them, you think everything they're confident, but inside of them, they feel kind of not worthy, empty. You know, they have self-doubts. I was that kind of person, but you wouldn't know. So I had to start working on all of that. I joined the Toastmasters Club. After a while, I needed more self-development. I took a coaching class. And that's how I slowly started evolving to who I am today. And another part of it is that, you know, with all I experienced as a child, I found it very hard to take compliments. So it feels like I'm not worthy of the compliments. Before you compliment me, I'm dismissing it. So what I'll be doing next, the next life I will do is compliment myself, say a few things about the hero story, the good things I've done, and be able to face you and say things about myself and accept it. The first one is a client that contacted me here in Canada. She was having issues with the father of her son, as she wanted her mother, who was back in her country, to have full custody of the son. This really caused her emotional pain, as she was troubled all the time. It started making her have quarrels with her father. She wasn't doing well in her studies. This emotional problem was just going in a vicious circle. So I made her realize the negative effect that the emotions and how she's feeling was affecting her life generally. She saw it, and when she addressed it, she was able to have a cordial co-parenting relationship with the father of her child, had a good relationship with her father, and finally had good grades, made a dean's list in her academics. So most times when we can't control our emotions, when we let our emotions get the best of us, it's not the person that offends us that is suffering. We are the ones actually suffering, because we stay with those pains and it goes round to various aspects of our lives. I call it a vicious circle. So from one to the next person, to your academics, to your relationship, it just goes round. Now onto the second story. The second story is a short story from a friend. Casually told me that she was on Instagram but does not like to post pictures on Instagram. So I jokingly just picked her phone and said, let's do one now. I pretended like I was going to snap her the picture. And she literally dived on me, fighting the phone off my hand, and didn't want to take the picture. I said, why? Why is it so difficult for you to take a picture and just post? She said, no, that she wasn't ready. She's not well dressed. Her top is her eyes. She analyzed everything. I said, wow. So all these things have to be ready before you can get a picture perfect to put on your social media. She said, yes. I said, wow. Do you know that there is a possibility that the fact that you're always waiting for things to be perfect, this will stop you from taking action in other aspects of your life? She reflected on it and agreed with me that it's true. And some other things she want to take, she thinks she's not ready, she's not good enough yet, she won't take action because she just wants to be good enough before she takes it. So there you have it. That's my hero story.